Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Now, let's get straight into it. So, word on the street is that De Ridder is looking to turn around relatively quickly, and the biggest rumor so far, and like I said, it's all rumors, so it's not confirmed or anything, but he is going to return against Robert Whittaker. Now, like I said, just rumors, so don't take this as set in stone or anything. But yeah, De Ridder is. I remember I was looking up like how old is De Ridder, because the UFC likes to get stars as of recently when they're a bit older. I wish the UFC would import more younger fighters, but it is what it is. Because you got like Chandler, he was coming in, he was old. Patricio Pitbull, he was older. De Ridder, older as well. Not old, but like De Ridder's 34 right now, and he's gonna turn 35 this year because his birthday is in September. So it is what it is. I guess they want to kind of relatively fast track him. And you look at what De Ridder wants. He wants to go up in the rankings, obviously. Now, De Ridder is sitting at, where is he? De Ridder is number 13. I don't think he moved up after the defeat of Bo Nickel. I think the Bo Nickel fight was more just to boost his profile, if anything. Obviously, Bo Nickel, everyone wants to scream fraud check and everything, but at the time, people were somewhat high on him, I guess. A lot of the experts were poking holes, especially after the Paul Craig performance, but it is what it is. It's a good win nonetheless, but I guess we'll see how much it really weighs on his record if Bo Nickel either goes off a cliff or he goes, shoots for the stars and learns, his lesson and really improves. So I guess it's, I guess we'll see how valuable the Bo Nickel win is in the future. But yeah, anyways. So De Ridder is at 13 and Robert Whittaker is at 5. So if we look at the top of the middleweight rankings right now, we got, Nasruddin, he probably should fight Kyle. I know Kyle's number 6, but they're really calling for that. I guess the UFC was talking to Kyle Ohio and saying that, like, to Nasruddin, if he doesn't take that fight, then Kyle's going to be treated a lot better when it comes to the title shot. And then you got Strickland, who Robert Whittaker wants. Also, Adesanya wants. And let's be honest, who do you think they're going to favor? Adesanya or Whittaker? I get Adesanya already fought him. And Adesanya, he's on a 3-fight losing streak, so it's it wouldn't be great if he lost the 4th. But I'd be willing to think that Adesanya had more of an off night, if anything, against Strickland, because that still to this day blows my mind that Strickland just pieced him up like that. He rocked him in the first round. He didn't do like a lot of damage to Adesanya. Like Strickland did his thing, like the jab, teep, and all that. I know he rocked him in the first round or the beginning of the fight, but I don't know. I don't know if he really, really concussed Adesanya, or you know what I mean? I feel like it was more like a flash knockdown, because I remember when he got down, he was like, he stood back up and he was like thumbs up to the ref and all that. So he was still cognizant. He was still conscious. So, and then yeah, he lost again to Duplessis, and then again to Nasruddin, which was not great. It was more of a KO loss to Nasruddin, which, yeah, you probably don't want to put Adesanya against a power striker. And I know, like I said, Strickland rocked him, but, I don't think that would happen again. I think Adesanya would have to take him a lot more serious. I think it was a combination of why Adesanya lost. That's the thing. It sounds like I'm taking away from Strickland, but it's like, I don't know. I like to think that Adesanya is the better striker overall than Strickland. Strickland probably has a bit more, like, better boxing and all that, but as far as being dynamic, I think Adesanya is a bit better, just because Strickland only throws one kick and the jab, and then the overhand, like, that doesn't even have much technique to it, because he hits people on, like, the forearm a lot. But hey, he got to the highest level of the division. He got championship off Adesanya, so it is what it is. But yeah, if they're going to favor anyone, they're going to give it to Adesanya, because I think Adesanya has a better chance than Whittaker to beat Strickland. Because I feel like in order to beat Strickland, you either have to be really, really, really good on the feet, and like, that's the thing, you need knockout power to really get Strickland's attention. That's why I'm worried about Adesanya in this rematch. But at the same time, I just think Adesanya, he looked good in his Nasruddin Imavov fight. He didn't look washed as everyone says, but yeah, I don't think Whitaker has the imposing enough style or the frame to really like worry Strickland. I see the Whitaker fight, if he got Strickland, more of like the Paulo Costa fight where it's like maybe he does good in the beginning or whatever, but then I think Strickland gets into the fight, unless it's a 3-round fight where it's more of like a sprint for Robert Whitaker. But even then, I just think that they both want Strickland. I think they probably favor Adesanya. So that leaves Whitaker having to fight someone else. And I don't think Whitaker wants to fight Kyle Bahayo because he wants to rebuild himself because he just lost to Khamzat. And the thing is, if I'm Kyle Bahayo, I don't really want Whitaker just because he, like I said, he lost. You want someone who's coming off of like a surging win streak to get the title shot, because that's the thing. If you beat someone who someone else beat, it starts to look less impressive. So it is what it is. So then you got De Ridder. Could he fight? Obviously, you could fight Robert. Kyle wouldn't fight down like that. De Ridder could also fight Cannonier. I don't know what Cannonier's doing. But, yeah. I'd like to see Cannonier retire, to be honest with you. Because, like, he's damn near 40. And every fight, it seems, like, in the last, like, 3, 4, 5 fights has been wars. Like, dropped wars, like, heavy punishment. So, in my humble opinion, I think Jared Cannonier should probably retire. But if not, it could be a good boost in the rankings for De Ridder, because Jared Cannonier is number 7. And I can see De Ridder winning that. Cannonier's still very dangerous because he has a lot of power, but if I'm De Ridder, I probably bring it to the ground and try to sub him there. Ideally, more of like a 3-round fight, because Cannonier showed in the RoboCop fight that he's dangerous like the whole fight. So you can't really play around with him, and De Ridder doesn't. I know he TKO'd Bo Nickel, but Bo Nickel doesn't really have great striking, and neither does De Ridder. So if I'm De Ridder, I probably take him down. And they could also give him Roman Dolidze, because remember Roman Dolidze beat Vettori recently, and he's like calling for Adesanya. I mean, it would be a really, I think as long as Adesanya can keep it on the feet, I think that would be an easy fight for Adesanya. But I don't know if Adesanya would want to give that opportunity to someone like Dolidze. I think Adesanya kind of wants more of like a top 5 profile fight these days. I know I don't remember what ranking Nasruddin was when he gave it to him, but I think he was up there for sure. Damn near top 5, so yeah, I just don't see Adesanya going down like that. And yeah, and then you got Anthony Hernandez. He beat Brendan Allen, so Hernandez probably wants to jump up in the rankings as well. Remember Kyle was saying that like he offered that fight, but then the UFC said they had another plan for him. So maybe they got Hernandez versus Whitaker or something. I don't know. It could be because maybe not actually, because Hernandez isn't that big of a star. I don't know if they want to build him because his style is cool, but I don't think it's like striking heavy. Hernandez is more of like a grappler kind of guy, so I don't know if they really want more of that at the top of the rankings, but it is what it is. You're going to eventually have to give him a higher ranking spot. So yeah, as far as realistic expectations, because yeah, and then 10 and 11, Vettori and Brendan Allen just got matched up, and I think Paulo Costa got matched up with, or he's going to get matched up with Roman Kopylov for, I think, International Fight Week, the rumor was. So yeah, I think in an ideal world, De Ridder can get Roman Dolidze. I think that's more of a winnable fight than Robert Whitaker, because Robert Whitaker is still good. I think, yeah, anyone from Roman Dolidze, Cannonier, or Whitaker. I think Whitaker, obviously, ideally, because of his profile and how hyped he is. And that's the thing. If De Ridder wins against Whitaker, I don't think he's going to get a title shot off that. I think he's going to have to fight one more time, depending on how the positions of the title works. Because if, let's say, Khamzat wins, and he's going to have to rematch Duplessis. Yeah, he's going to have to rematch Duplessis, and then, I think it's going to be a bit of a logjam for the next coming months for sure. So, yeah, hopefully De Ridder gets a jump up in the rankings, because I don't think he had to fight Bo Nickel, because he was coming off a win as well. So, fighting Bo Nickel was technically like fighting downward. So, hopefully they repay him good. Yeah, I like I said, Cannonier, Dolidze, or Robert Whitaker. Ideally, Whitaker. My second choice would probably be Dolidze, because he's a lot less dangerous than Cannonier. and Cannonier has a lot more losses. So, but yeah, all right, moving on. And so apparently another breaking news, I guess, is that Topuria, he reposted this on his Twitter, or X, or whatever you want to call it, that tonight he's going on this Spanish, I think, what is it, this news show or something? I'm not really familiar with El Hormiguero. Apparently that's like some big show in Spain. And it says that, because it was in Spanish, obviously, so the translated is, tonight we received the champion of the UFC with 16 wins, Ilia Topuria. He will tell us all the details about his next fight in Las Vegas, June 28th. Now, I don't really love this because I doubt the UFC would let him announce the Makhachev fight without them announcing it first. And UFC could come out tonight and say that, but I'm pretty sure the UFC said that they're waiting on, well, not the UFC didn't say it, but everyone's saying that apparently Makhachev's waiting for the result of this weekend on Saturday. And today is obviously not Saturday. Today is, what is today? Today is Thursday. And so no, I think Topuria, if he's going to be announcing everything, because it says all the details, people are suggesting that it could be Oliveira or Gaethje. Like I said earlier, I prefer if it was Arman, just on paper, because of the he beat Oliveira, and Arman's, I think, the number one contender. Let me just take a look real quick. So Arman's number one, Charles is number two, and Gaethje's number three. I think I don't think Topuria would fight Gaethje, not because he's like intimidated or scared or anything, but I just don't think it does as much for him as opposed to like an Arman or a Charles Oliveira. And it's not. I don't know. I don't know. It's just weird. Like, why would he go on this show unless, maybe this show is just trying to clickbait everyone and just, he's going to talk about more of like the fight week and everything and, where it's going to be and all that. But I don't know. I don't know if I like this, but it is what it is. Hopefully Topuria gets the title fight, like I said, but, it's very strange because he even reposted this on his Twitter. So he's definitely going, it's not like some clickbait shit. Like, he's actually going on the show, but I don't know. Hopefully I'm not right. Hopefully he's getting the Makhachev fight, but I don't know. If he doesn't fight Makhachev, I'm still obviously hyped about any fight that Topuria has, but at this point, he's such a big star. I like to see him at the highest profile fights that he can get at the time. So I guess we'll wait and see. So stay tuned because I think it's obviously this is a Spanish show. And it's not going to be on everyone's time zone. So I guess take a look at the Spanish time zone because it says tonight. So whatever that is in the Spain time zone relative to you, I guess. And like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.